Matt.
All right, Tim, thank you. 10:22 now, and Connecticut's tick population continues to rise, along with the rise of the Powassan virus, a tick-borne virus. When most think about Lyme disease, they give out outdoor tips to protect your body from a tick jumping on you. But did you realize that there are more myths than truths floating around about Lyme disease? Here to debunk those myths, hopefully, is expert Dr. Tanya Dempsey. She's with us. Nice to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start with good news for a second, because we're going to go into a lot of stuff that's going to scare the pants off you.
Okay.
You were with us last year. 1 year later, how have we, as doctors, come in the advancing of fighting off Lyme disease?
So we have now some new treatment options. They're very aggressive. We've got some studies to back them up. So there is hope that we might even have cure for Lyme disease. And up until last year, we weren't even sure.
Really? Wow.
So it's exciting.
So
but
moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. Got the good news out of the way. Let's talk about these various myths, because they're as a parent, they're scary. And I don't, I live on the shoreline, but again, we've had plenty of ticks in my neck of the woods and everyone, and you think, oh, that can't happen to me, but it can. So let's start with this. Number one, Lyme disease can only be transmitted if the tick is attached to a person for at least 36 to 48 hours. Truth or not?
Myth,
okay,
unfortunately, but this is the information that is being put out there on the internet, and doctors think this is the correct information. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
These ticks are carrying lots of different infections.
Right.
And they're attaching to people. They're sucking the blood.
Right.
They're injecting the stuff from their stomach, which is all these bacteria and viruses.
Right.
Okay. All these different things get transmitted in different time frames into the person. So Powassan virus, for instance, 15 minutes.
Are you serious?
To be transmitted once the tick attaches.
So here I was ready to go 36 hours, that may be long, maybe it's like 24 hours. You're telling me it's not even 1 hour.
False sense of security that we've sort of, taught people. Don't worry, it's not engorged, it's not been on long enough.
And we're going to go into the signals of it in a second. But here's another interesting one. Myth. Lyme disease can be ruled out with a simple blood test, yes or no?
Myth. No.
Geez. Okay.
No.
The current testing is flawed?
Yeah, well, the current testing is old.
Oh, okay.
It's based on a screening test. It's a screen for one strain of Lyme. We have multiple strains of Lyme. So if you were infected with the other strain, it's not going to pick it up.
And that leads to the eye test, so to speak. I know there are a lot of people, I've read it online myself, they say if you have the bullseye, you have Lyme disease. If you don't have that bullseye rash, you don't. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Okay.
And this is a critical point. You cannot rely on the bullseye rash. Less than 50% of people who are infected with Lyme will get the bullseye. You're lucky if you get it.
Okay.
But if you don't,
okay.
You're not.
It can or can't be cured within 28 days thanks to a good healthy dose of antibiotics.
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
Because doxycycline is the antibiotic we use. Might not be strong enough for Lyme or for other infections.
All right, so let's talk about what we can do, because look, it's getting warmer, people are heading outside. I see a lot of people who are so good about taking care of their pets and checking their pets for ticks, but they don't check themselves. What should we be doing as a general rule?
Yeah, we should be protecting ourselves before we go outside. We should be protecting our kids. The clothing needs to be treated with insecticide. The skin needs to be treated with insect repellents. And then every time you come back indoors, take all your clothes off right at the door and check.
Check yourself right then and there, because especially if it's 15 minutes before a disease can be transmitted, you don't have time.
That's right.
Lots more tips. I wish we had the rest of the hour to talk about this, because I got a billion more questions. But if you have questions, let us know. Fox61.com. We'll get them to Dr. Dempsey, and we will hopefully have you back sooner rather than later, so that we can keep finding out about how we're going to make Lyme disease go away. It would be nice.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Good tips. Good. Unfortunately, not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good news, but good tips nonetheless.